I've got some reactions to some of the research coming from a perspective of lived experience. We have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Australia's mastered 234 plus years of white supremacy. For the majority of its being, we have had a racist, not just a racist past, but a racist present, and one in which progressive organisations have had their own issues to do with racism internally as well. So we have to acknowledge that, because we're not working in a vacuum of being perfect. The second thing I think I want to point out is that what I've seen in Australia up until now is a real comfortableness in this colourblind approach, which simply fuels white power. That colourblind approach is the default. In the early years of being an educator, the majority white folk would feel alarmed at differentiating or acknowledging that somebody was from a different ethnic background. It was almost like to point it out would be racist. And so in that othering, or in that assuming that we're all the same, we miss the very fact that the life experiences and impacts of various things impact us all in a different way. We don't have a comfortableness in talking about black, brown and white. So we have a problem with terminology. We have often, I still struggle with who a migrant is. Are we all migrants, or are people of colour migrants? I struggle with that constantly, because there is a view that anyone who is a person of colour is a migrant, irrespective of anything else, irrespective of whether they were born in Australia. My third point really is that our diversity is our strength. So when we come to think of union work, the difference is something that we should celebrate, not something that we use as a division. I think that victim blaming, we can't build power, organise, fight, win if we don't build unity at the same time. If we only build power for some, we're never going to win. We're never going to get the wins that working class workers deserve. And so that was my other point, that, you know, at the end of the day, workers are work. We don't need to be jerks. We just need to acknowledge the fact that workers are workers, irrespective of whether they were born in Australia, look like each other, or don't. A worker is a worker, and that solidarity speaks to the core of our work. What if the research showed that Australians were far more intolerant than tolerant? What would we be doing with that information? Because we've got a huge education piece that we need to confront. Marketing or research isn't going to solve, or, you know, race class narrative without education, without our organisers and our delegates understanding the solidarity as being as important to fighting and winning on health and safety. You know, our work around anti-racism is as important as our other work. So it's core work, and that's how I see it.